knows about the grind. Yeah, the bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again.
Good Monday afternoon to you. Welcome to EST Afternoons. Matt Iwanyk in for Hernan Salas. I will be here for the next 4 more days of this show. Returning to EST Afternoons. It is Joaquin Gage. We have Zachary, Kubusch on the other side of the camera as well, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thank you to everyone for listening live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com and tune in on iHeartRadio for those watching on YouTube and everyone listening to us podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Lots to get to on the show today. It is Oiler game day. Oilers, Kings later tonight. Amazon Prime game, 8 o'clock start. We've got a Masters to discuss. Rory McIlroy finally winning. We've got an F1 weekend to discuss. We want to hear from you, 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree inbox, or the afternoon inbox, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino as well. You can jump into the nasty chat for those on YouTube. But Gager, you're back. How you doing? How you feeling? How was the week away from EST? Nice work, Zach.
It was good. It
Yeah?
was good. It was weird. I was telling Dusty before. My normal routine back in the day was obviously listening to the show, right? So, but the show ended at 1, and then all of a sudden I hear you guys going, and I'm like, oh, right. It was a nice surprise. Even though I'd been doing the show for a long time, I forgot that we went further on. It just, my days were completely different.
So you listen still?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, I'm opposite. I'm off. I don't listen.
Well, I don't listen all the time, but it's on. Like in the mornings, it's usually on, and then because I was listening to, I think it was Oil Stream the one day, and I was all ready to just turn it off, and then you guys, oh yeah, that's right. There's another show, so it was neat. Now I can see why talking to people, they're so ecstatic about 6 to 6, right? So because they can just keep us on all day.
All day. There's something going on. And then tonight, we've got the G-Seal Diesel Oil Stream pregame show because we'll get you set for that 8 o'clock start. 7 o'clock, Tommy gets on the air to get you set for that game. Amazon Prime, are you aware of that?
Yeah, no, that's I know that for sure. Because Struddy and I won't be on the panel.
That's right. That's right. We don't get either of you guys.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
it.
disappointed. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I guess, yeah, Wednesday, it's just Bobby.
Yeah. And so that's it for this season. I was at the game, and we had it's kind of funny because there was an autograph session before. So myself and Mark Frederic were signing autographs, and it's just
Nice.
like, I mean, you know, a lot of people are like, who are these guys? A lot of people knew Mark. He's a little bit more recent than I am. So, but it was an interesting group of people coming to get autographs. Lots of younger families, but the Oilers do something really cool for people that go to their first NHL game with kids. Like there was probably about 6 kids that had certificates. This is my first NHL game, right? So I was actually signing a few of these certificates, which I thought was really neat. Like going to your first, the one girl was just ecstatic. She was going nuts about it. And then I ran into a nasty at the autograph session signing. Wheels showed up.
Oh.
And so, and I acknowledged him right away. I don't know how Wheels got to the game. He must have went through a dust cloud because I thought his glasses were those transition ones, you know, the ones that. But
when the sun comes on, they go dark and all that.
No, they were just like I thought he was wearing sunglasses first. He looked like he was in he came out of a dust cloud, and then he said that he's intimidated by me, and I'm the one that reached out to him, like, oh hey, Wheels, whatever. And he made me feel kind of awkward, like all of a sudden. And I was just, geez, man. Yeah, I was happy to see him, and he seemed like he wasn't too happy to see me, which was unfortunate. So
I'm sorry you had that experience.
yeah, it was terrible, man. I was like,
and he's ripping on Trev for not coming to see him.
Well, yeah.
Like if you go see him, and then he's just gonna.
And I saw him from a distance too. Like I
so you went out of your way.
Well, he's hard to miss. I mean, that dust cloud following him. He looked like Pigpen from Charlie Brown.
We're in the William Huff studio, presented by William Huff since 1952. William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry experience and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website, williamhuff.com, or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. They also have the playoff packages for the Edmonton Oilers, as the Oilers officially clinched. You go to williamhuff.com. If you use the promo code EST Huff, you get a little bit of a discount. The discount code is just for today until 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So get on that playoff package right now. There's a lot that comes into it. I moved some decals over there because you really can't see the decals right now. You got to put it up on something. We got the stickers, we got the pom-poms, we got the banner. Great little something that William Huff, they did this last year, I know, and then they put a little EST stickers on the pom-poms.
I saw that.
Isn't that nice of them?
That's great.
We'll talk Masters. We'll talk F1 right away here. Coming up at 1:20, Shane Ryan. He's a contributor with GolfDigest.com, also an author of Slaying the Tiger in the Cup They Couldn't Lose. He will join us to talk about the Masters. And at 1 o'clock, Tim Hauraney, F1 insider for TSN and Nailing the Epochs podcast. We will talk with that. Ready for the list of Edmonton Oilers that aren't going to be, or the update, if you will, on the Edmonton
The
Oilers.
show's only 2 hours.
This is from Tom Gazzola. Nuge expected to play tonight. McDavid out to rest up. They're getting ready for the playoffs. Walman maybe will play Wednesday, game 1 for sure. Frederic maybe early, round 1. Ekholm out for the first round. Stetcher, he's day-to-day. Hyman, maybe game 1. Draisaitl, maybe Wednesday, game 1 for sure. Josh Brown, recalled, he plays tonight. Hutson, he's in tonight. Evander Kane, he's waiting approval from the medical staff for game 1. Gager, this is a big game for the Oilers tonight. They win. They tie the LA Kings. The Kings, they'll have the tiebreaker for second in the Pacific. How much should they be looking at second, or how much should they just continue to be focusing on trying to stay healthy?
Well, some of the name bars, I mean, there's going to be some different names in tonight, right? Or in different spots that you'd like to see them. I mean, I think it's important that they win, like they win out. Yeah. Just with what you've mentioned there in that list, I think home ice advantage could really help the Edmonton Oilers at this point, not knowing the health of a lot of these guys. And of course, I just think if they can, they should go for it. Mostly because of the record of the Los Angeles Kings at home this year. And I heard Eric talking, or maybe it was just in the office today. It's not like LA's like the house of pain or anything. Like it's not the fans aren't.
It's not an intimidating barn to go to. You're thinking, oh my God, this crowd just brings it.
Maybe it's the allure of all the beautiful people in LA. Like they're like the sirens of the of Homer
dark.
and the Odyssey. Right?
It always seems dark in there watching on TV.
It does seem a little bit dark. Those just could be the bags under Kopitar's eyes, but I don't know. No, I think they should. I think they should try to get this home ice thing done, if possible. And then if it's not going to happen, then whatever. But I think it would be more advantageous to start game 1 at home.
Well, the doc saying Sidney McDavid is a sign they do not care about home ice advantage.
I guess not.
Like if you did want to, you need this game. If you lose tonight in any fashion, the LA Kings have second. The fact that you're not playing Connor McDavid if you're the Edmonton Oilers, I think that implies that they're okay with the idea of no McDavid, no Leon, no Hyman, Nuge, carry this team, no Ekholm. Probably not going to happen. How big of a loss is Ekholm?
You can't. You can't replace something like that. It's just. I mean, I was talking to you guys before. It's if you take the three big dogs and you're including Ekholm with Connor and Leon. If you take Connor out, you still got a chance with Leon and Ekholm. With Leon out, you got Connor and Ekholm. But once you take Ekholm out, there's a lot of intangibles that you're missing out. But you just sparked a thing in my mind there by saying that, you know what, we don't care where we start. We're going to beat you anyways. That could be a little bit of a psychological thing to the Kings too. Like, yeah, sure. We'll go down. We're not afraid of you at all.
Well, you and I have talked about this, I think last year a bit too. We like the idea of, and you can correct me if I'm wrong with that, the starting on the road, a playoff series. Whether you're home ice or not, like it just seems more advantageous to start on the road because your job is now kind of just to split. And even if you lose both mentally, you're coming home still. Whereas the LA Kings, your job is to take both. You have to take both, otherwise you're home series. I think the big thing is also just game one. If you go to LA and you take game one, not only have you taken home ice advantage from them, and they do very well at home, but what goes through the LA Kings' mind of just, is it, here we go again?
Well, maybe not so much in LA, but I mean, because... there'll be a lot of media there, and maybe there'll be Canadian media asking tougher questions to the Kings at that point, going just that seed of doubt because, whoa, geez, you were so good at home all year, and you haven't beaten these guys. What does this mean if they lose game one? So, like what you're saying, you're putting who's the pressure on to win game one more? Is it the LA Kings or the Edmonton Oilers? I would say it's the LA Kings just because of past few seasons and their record at home, and now getting thrust into the media, having to answer questions about what's wrong with the team. Why can't you beat the Oilers at home?
I think there's just pressure entirely that the Oilers could go 0-2. They have no pressure. Like now, then in game three is the pressure.
Yeah,
you're now back home. I think if you go down, if you're the Edmonton Oilers, even if you lose game one, okay, go take game two. There's still a lot of pressure on the LA Kings going into game two, but more in game one because I think mentally inside their heads, they might start going, is this what is it going to take?
Yeah. I always thought that if you were finished ahead in the standings, like you were in that home ice spot, you would be able to have an option? The option to whether you wanted to start on the road or at home.
Yeah.
You know?
You could go to a 2-2-1-2 series.
Yeah.
If you wanted home ice. If you want, like you choose, do you want a 2-2-1-1-1 series where you start at home, or do you want a 2-2-1-2 series where you start on the road as that top team?
Yeah.
That'd be something. As for the Oilers' first playoff game, the Kings do play Thursday. Saturday night, the LA Kings play at home, or the LA Lakers play at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So unless they surprise everyone and put Oilers and Kings in the afternoon, you're looking earliest, I would say, is Sunday for an Oilers playoff start. That, depending on if they're in LA, we'll find out later tonight. Right. Were you watching the Masters yesterday?
Yesterday was a fantastic day of sports. 9:00 F1 race, straight into the Masters. Mm-hmm. And then Oilers game in the evening.
Rory just can't do it easy. He just couldn't do it easy, right? Like double bogey to start, water, has a chance though still to win it on 18, misses the putt. Here we go. We're going to a playoffs. Like I couldn't even imagine what was going through like his mind. And we're speaking about mentally, like when he's going to that first playoff hole, like what is he thinking?
Well, just watching that, I mean, it was great to watch because somehow the stars aligned, and I was able to digest a ton of Masters yesterday. But I loved the fact that they don't allow phones, so no one knows. So it's like a time warp back in time, and they see the board go up, and people go nuts. Like,
well, we're talking to Murray today.
Yeah,
he was there, and Eric brought up the guy that urinated in the creek.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What happened?" And he didn't even know.
Yeah,
because you're at the course too, and like you can't hear it. And even Murray's talking like if you get if you go with people and you get separated, how are you supposed to connect?
Yeah,
how are you supposed to meet?
Old school. I'll meet you there at 2. Where?
I wish I could just go to the Masters to cut away from my phone for a few hours.
Just to go back to that, I know my algorithms, Maddie. It's all nostalgic Gen X stuff with music and riding your bikes and street lights coming on, time to go home, all these things. And I was just taken aback watching that, and everyone just looking at this old school scoreboard, anticipating what was happening. And then the numbers go up and the roar, just to go back in time and be separated and fully focused as a fan, like You go to Oiler games, how many people on their phones all the time taking pictures? Like half of them are in the Coventry area having beers. I can't believe this. Just to be fully engaged in something, it's got to be one of the best sporting experiences on the planet.
And one of the best Masters we'll see.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I feel bad for Justin Rose because
I did too.
What a putt on 18 to get the birdie. What an approach. What a second shot on that first playoff hole. Like, that would be good enough for most people, but then Rory has to go up there and one-up him.
Well, what did you think when he left it low on to win? Like, you have a 3-footer to win. Like, what goes through his mind at that point?
Well, and it ended up, Rory talked about it after he was 2 shots shorter, but on 18, he had 125 yards they showed on screen. In the playoff, he was 125 yards out again. I'm like, well, he knows the shot,
okay,
but he also sitting there going, I just screwed this up.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and what's like having to deal with all of that. But that's where I'm like, hey, this guy, if he's got, he'd feel his club right. Based on last year, like it looked like it was the good distance.
Yeah.
He just sent it to the right. I don't know. The bunker shot was amazing. He gets it where he needs to.
Yeah.
You'd
like a few more rotations of the ball.
Sure. But you're also sitting there. And because he also misses that when he was going for the playoff win, like it wasn't like, oh, he's got this.
I know. I mean, there's sports are just great, aren't they? Like that. What a moment to see him, his family, his boys. You could like Jim Nantz with the great call by not saying a word.
I saw something in 6 minutes from when he won and something after. Him and Trevor Immelman said, I think it would combine 46 words over the span of 6 minutes or something. They just let it breathe.
The first thing I notice is, oh my gosh, Nance isn't saying a word. So you feel like you are in the gallery with everyone else cheering, right? You hear everything. You hear Rory with all his mates and it goes, all right, boys, I got to go. I got to go get a green jacket. Like just to hear that, him say,
And the emotion. As soon as he lands the putt, goes down, throws his club, lets out the scream. That's 11 years. Well, he talked about it almost since, his blow up in 2011, but 11 years of pent up disappointment, heartbreak, all just comes out.
Do you think the greenskeepers are pissed because he threw his putter?
On the replay that went up there, I'm like, that's not good for the green. That's not good for the. I wouldn't be allowed to do that.
I was like, oh my god, the greenskeepers are going to hate him for that. Like, that's going to be a lot of repair.
Yeah, somebody go show me get a close up of the green after. I want to see what that putter is going to do.
Yeah.
Don't they close for a little bit after the Masters usually? Well, Augusta did close for a little bit.
Augusta actually closes soon.
Yeah.
Like they don't golf in the summertime because it's too hot.
It's all because Rory damaging those greens over there. Well, we'll get to your F1 thoughts in a bit. We will talk some Edmonton Oilers as well, more so. We want to hear your thoughts. Afternoon inbox, River Cree inbox. That's 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat as well. We're going to take a short time out following a Zacticum Sports update. And then the other side of a break, Shane Ryan of golfdigest.com, as well an author of a couple of golf books. He's going to join us to talk a little bit more of the Masters and wrap up the 2025 Masters. He's Joaquin Gage. I'm Matt Iwanyk. This is EST Afternoons and Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Here's Zach with your sports update.
Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch has announced that Matthias Ekholm will miss the first round of playoffs against the Kings, having Leon Draisaitl expected to return for Game 1. Josh Brown steps in for Matthias Ekholm tonight, while 23-year-old forward Quinn Hutson makes his NHL debut, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins returning to the lineup. No Connor McDavid on the ice tonight. Tom Gazzola has all the details as he goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 right here on EST. And there's 5 other games around the league. Ivan Demidov makes his Canadiens debut as the Habs continue to battle for playoff spot, hitting the ice with the Blackhawks, while the Rangers and Panthers showdown and the Stars meet the Red Wings. And fresh off a 7-6 win over Baltimore last night, the Jays kick off a 3-game set against the 4-11 Braves. Easton Lucas starts on the mound for Toronto, seeing 10 games around the MLB. And after missing the NBA playoffs with a record of 36-46, Phoenix has fired first-year head coach Mike Budenholzer. Play-ins start tomorrow. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf, and with 240 unique courses and technology that automatically tees the ball up for you. Gimme Virtual Golf is where innovation meets the game. Visit their website at gimmevirtualgolf.ca. So Masters recap brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game and post-game shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre-game and post-game shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Craving a late night snack? Hit the Banquet for our new late night happy hour. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Try favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or our Banquet burger and fries, all at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
.123, this is EST Afternoons. Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage with you here on this Monday, Oiler Game Day. They will be hosting the LA Kings later tonight, 8 o'clock. That game exclusively on Amazon Prime as a heads up for people. So if you're going to Sportsnet and you don't see the game, that's why it won't be on Sportsnet. It'll be on Amazon Prime. Zach to come on the other side of the camera. We'll get back into the inbox and talking some Oilers in a bit, but we want to continue talking Masters of 2025 as Rory McIlroy. He finally completes the career Grand Slam. Big win yesterday to put on the green jacket and help us talk about the Masters and Rory's win. We've got Shane Ryan. He's contributor with golfdigest.com, author of Slaying the Tiger and the Cup They Couldn't Lose. And Shane is with us now. Shane, Rory just can't make it easy. We've seen a lot of disappointment from him throughout the years at Augusta. Yesterday starts with the double bogey. You know, he misses the putt on 18, but ultimately gets it done in the first playoff against Justin Rose. What was going through your mind as you were watching Rory from his first hole till he won the green jacket yesterday? Oh, I think we'll give Shane. Well, yeah, okay. We've got the robot a little bit there, so we'll reconnect and we will get Shane's thoughts on that. And it's just, for me, years past, we've seen him have his rough moments. He'd go in on a Sunday with a lead or something, or be right there, and then he'd just fade away. Mm-hmm. And you start with the double bogey, and he said he thinks that calmed his nerves. But he loses the lead, he gets it back, loses it again, gets it back, and then is in a playoffs. Just the full up and down. We got Shane back here now. Shane, so yeah, for you, what was going through your mind as you watched Rory, all day yesterday at Augusta?
Can you hear me now? Are we good?
Yeah,
we got
good.
you. We got you. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, no problem. So, as you might imagine, my brain was ricocheting between extremes of, this is the most clutch shot I've ever seen. Destiny, it's, he's finally here. It's finally going to go over to, oh my God, he's going to blow it. And each one, I think each one happened about 4 or 5 times over the course of 3 or 4 hours. It was an unbelievable, entertaining final round. Again, at times he seemed like he was making some of the best pressure shots of his career. At other times he was doing inexplicable things. The ball into the water on 13, the approach into the bunker from 125 yards on 18 when he needed a par to win. So it really, until the very last moment, you didn't know if he was going to do it. It was almost the perfect way to end the long drought that he's had. And it really felt like it couldn't end any other way. There was no way it was going to be easy. When he went in the playoffs, it was like, oh my God, I can't take another. Nobody can take another one of these losses. It's just so heartbreaking. And then he did it. He made the right shots when he had to. And what a wild Sunday at the Masters.
Shane, so, watching this the whole weekend, you kind of get a vibe from the fans and even to the announcers to some respect that Rory was kind of the darling. Everyone was kind of in his corner to win this year. Does the way this ended, does Justin Rose become that individual next year, seeing that he's finished bridesmaid over the last couple that he's been a part of?
Yeah, I think so. I think, people, Justin Rose has had this interesting renaissance, not just on the course, but kind of in the public image too. He's been on Full Swing and he's been really entertaining there. You've kind of seen his face more and more. And, he finished second at Troon last year at the Open, and he finished second again this year, which is not his first time finishing second at Augusta. Yeah, I think a lot of people would love to see him win a second major. Difference is, of course, he's 44, whatever. I think that's right. I think he's 44 years old. And, Rory is a much younger person. So with Rose, there's the added element that, you feel like time's running out a little bit. So I guarantee you people would love to see him win another major. And if it could be Augusta, how poetic would that be? But there's not many more chances,
Back to Rory. We saw the emotion when he won. We saw him go down to his knees, get up, let out the scream. This was his 11th chance at completing the career Grand Slam, but I know he talked about it going back to his collapse in 2011 when he had the lead going into the back nine, and he ended up, I think, 10 shots back at the end of that day. It's been a while since he won a major as well, and we've seen disappointments, not just at Augusta, but we've seen disappointments with Rory, even just as recently at majors last year at the U.S. Open. How much weight is coming off of Rory's shoulders, and where do you think Rory can go without having that weight on his shoulders moving forward in his career?
Well, it's a tremendous weight off his shoulders. I think now he probably feels like if he injured himself tomorrow and could never play golf again, he could probably live with that at this point. Look, it's been you talked about the 2011 Masters, and then 2014 was the last time he won a major. It's been an incredible journey. Really, it's like the Odyssey. It really is. He's like been at sea. He seemed like he was going to come home a bunch of times. It was always just so close within his grasp, and then it was yanked away from him. And it took a really long time for him to finally win again. This is, over a decade. He put his time in. There's a lot of suffering there. There was a lot of struggle. And now here he is. It's a tremendous relief. It's quite a catharsis. And so, yeah, what he does next, it's sort of up to him, I think. I think if he continues to take golf as seriously as he has taken it, which I would fully expect him to do, I think he'll continue to contend in majors like he has all throughout this decade. But I think the pressure is going to be a lot different from now on. It's going to be less. He's going to play with a certain freedom because, every loss is not going to be like, well, there we go again. We're still in this drought. We still have this thing hanging over our head. And again, to do it at Augusta, to complete the career slam, it's all house money now, right? It's all house money for Rory. So I would expect, as long as he doesn't just say screw it and start partying and drinking, which I would be very tempted to do that. I don't think he will. I think he's gonna win some more.
With the career slam with Rory, where does that put him in your mind on the kind of Mount Rushmore of golfers all time? Because not many guys have accomplished this feat.
Yeah, so he's one of 6 to do it. He's only one of 2 in the modern era, really, to have done it. And his career has been so successful outside of the majors that he's already one of the greatest players ever. He's been number 1. Now he's won the career slam. He's got 5 majors. He should probably, for all his success, have 8 or 9 majors at this point. But that being the case, he still, to me, is the second best golfer of the modern era, the best European golfer that's ever played. And, he has to be one of the 4 best. I mean, numbers-wise, you wouldn't stack him up against, if you were just doing, how many majors people won, he wouldn't be on that 4-person Mount Rushmore. But when you talk about the degree of difficulty in the modern game and how long he has sustained it and how long he's been with us and now completing his career Grand Slam, for me, he's one of the best 5 players definitely ever to live.
We're Shane Ryan. He is a golf writer, a contributor with GolfDigest.com, author of Slaying the Tiger and the Cup They Couldn't Lose. A few years ago, 2019, Tiger goes and wins, and the story was, would Tiger ever win one again? He got it done. For a number of years, would Rory ever complete the career Grand Slam? He got it done. I know Gager talked to you about Justin Rose. As we go into next year's Masters, what do you think the story or the next big story might be around the Masters if you take Justin Rose aside? Is there a golfer you see that will be the conversation of, can this guy finally get the green jacket, or is it going to go to, can Rory get a second? Where do you think the conversation was going to be in the narrative as we go into maybe next year's Masters?
Well, that was Rory's joke at the end when he walked into the press room. He said, what are we all going to talk about next year? And it's a good question, because this has been the overwhelming, dominant topic of conversation at Augusta for, again, it feels like 10 years at this point. Every single time he comes, he's got a chance to win a career Grand Slam. I don't think there's any story remotely as compelling as that right now. So when you look at, next year, obviously things are going to happen between now and then. We don't know what the story will be, but I don't think you're going to have any ready-built narrative that's interesting. It'll more just be like, well, which of these guys who's playing well is going to win? The only guy I can see at this point, it felt like, Tiger's story was so epic, like you said, and Rory's story is so epic. The only guy with the potential to get there and on that level or somewhere close to that level would be Jordan Spieth, and he just has to start playing better. But if he could come back and compete and contend, I think that would sort of rise to that level or get close to that level. But beyond that, I mean, this is, I would say enjoy the story, because I wrote today on Golf Digest, this might be the last great golf story we have for a very long time.
Do you think Jordan could ever do the career Grand Slam? Because he'd be the one that's on deck right now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's got to win the PGA. Yeah, he could. He definitely could. It's just a matter of, his game right now is not in a place where he can win any major, I don't think. But it's Spieth. There's nothing saying he can't get back there. The difference between him and Rory is that while Rory was struggling, and what made Rory's drought so agonizing is he was always in position to win. Always, right? He was always winning other tournaments, and he was always close in majors. Spieth has fallen off. That's not, it's not the same for Spieth. He's not playing at that high level quite as much. So, yeah, it's going to, whether he can get back there, it's maybe the most compelling question in the game right now, that Rory's won his career slam.
Shane, really appreciate the insight and the time. Great stuff, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
There's Shane Ryan, GolfDigest.com, author of Slaying the Tiger, as well as The Cup They Couldn't Lose, which is on the Ryder Cup, helping us recap the 2025 Masters. I really hope Jordan Spieth could one day get the career Grand Slam. He was unbelievable. It was electric watching him, especially in 2015. I wanted to get a Masters again because he should have won another one, but he dunked it twice on 12, and he lost it. And then he had to give the jacket to Danny Willett, and just completely devastated. But even if he does complete the career Grand Slam, he'd be the 7th golfer to ever do it, because Rory's 6. It won't be as nice, like the Rory did it at the Masters, as opposed to doing it at the PGA Championship.
There's an allure to
it's just that little extra.
Yeah, no, it's funny because this time of year for me, I always kind of revert back to when I played hockey, and it was always an exciting or sad time that once the Masters was on TV, because either the playoffs were about to start or you were going home and you couldn't wait, kind of in a sense, to get the TaylorMades all shined up because you were watching the Masters, right? So it's a very odd time of year for a hockey player, because especially last night's game, because I guarantee, because everyone's got TVs, right? So I guarantee in both dressing rooms with the Jets, the Masters is on. Right. And so they're looking at that until the moment they can hit the ice. And then there's playoffs, and guys are getting probably training staff. What's it at? It's playoff.
Well, I think it. When did I flip over to the Oiler game? Because I wasn't watching the start of the Oiler game.
Yeah, no.
I think there was 13 minutes left in the first period or something.
Yeah.
I think that's when I got it over. Because I also, when it was over, like I want to see the green jacket presented. I want to see Butler's cabin. I want to see all of that, and it was magical. And that's what I think. That's what wraps this up nicely for Rory. Is I was able to do it at Augusta. And do it with the green jacket. Big Uke and the Nasty Chat Spieth and Lefty, the only two guys that have 3 or 4 that are still playing. I can't. Which one does Phil not have? Is it the Open?
Didn't he? I think it's PGA as well, isn't it?
No, the U.S. Open.
Oh, is it?
He hasn't won the U.S. Open. Which I'll say this:
he's not winning that one.
That's the toughest course to win. Like they always make it extremely tough. That doesn't favor the old guys.
No.
That doesn't favor the old guys. So, Jordan Spieth, he's got to go win a PGA Championship, which I believe would be the next major coming up here. I don't know where it is this year. So hopefully, I'm just a big Jordan Spieth guy, and I'd love to see him do it. And that's where what we saw yesterday is when golf could be at its finest, and just how captivating it is, and it just draws you in, and you have to watch every shot. And this is why I couldn't fully get into TGL. I like that breathing room between shots, especially late when it matters, as opposed to the rush. So it is.
The Masters is always in the same place. There's something to that, right?
Well, Patrick Reed knows how to play well there.
Yeah.
He's won it, and did he finish top 5 yesterday? He was third. He was third.
Didn't he sink it from like 170?
No one cheered.
Yeah.
Murray's joke was, he didn't know it went in because no one's cheering for Patrick Reed that he could do that, and no one will cheer for him. So, he always does well there. That was the one thing, though, too, with Tiger, even going into 2019, was you always knew Tiger could go win it because he knew Augusta.
Yeah.
He's done it 5 times.
They had to Tiger-proof the course, for crying out loud. Lefty, Phil Mickelson had a rough go trying to win that, too, for a number of years, right?
It was the longest time for him just to get a major.
Yeah.
And then he finally got his first major, was the Masters in 2004. And then that set him off to win all of his majors. But he was a guy that it was like, when's he going to finally get that major? When's he going to finally get that major? And he did it with the Masters. And then he's won it 3 times.
Do you think Rory, just from removing this monkey off the back, sets him off where, again, like Shane was saying, playing with house money? I think he's got another couple majors in him.
Well, we were talking about it on the Hangout today.
Yeah.
He has nothing left to win.
Yeah.
He's won all 4 majors. He's won the Players. He's won a Ryder Cup. He's won the FedEx Cup. He's won it all.
Yeah.
There's nothing left to do. So now he just gets to go play golf.
He's unleashed. Yeah.
And as Shane said, like he could probably, if he quit golf today, he's fine.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things were weighing on him. I think, just even not having won a major, the U.S. Open last year with the missed putts that he had, that all weighed on him. Now, if he has a 6-foot putt to go win a major, I don't think he cares as much. He's a competitor, and obviously he cares. But he doesn't have, if he misses, whatever, I've won it all.
It's always good to have just a little bit of I don't really care about something.
Well, when we get to late in a hockey season or you get to the playoffs, what are some of the more dangerous teams? The ones that are playing house. The Montreal Canadiens against the Washington Capitals. If that's the matchup we see in the first round, how dangerous could the Canadiens be? Because
they're not supposed to do anything.
They're not supposed to do anything.
Yeah.
They're just happy to, to a degree, happy to be there. And if they could pull off the upset of the Capitals, great, gravy. But if they lose in 4, everyone would be like, what a great season for the Canadiens because they made the playoffs. Those are dangerous teams. And that's where Rory is, maybe, where you've got nothing else to do.
Yeah. DeChambeau hasn't won a Masters, right? No.
He has not won a Masters.
Which
one hasn't else won? He's only won a U.S. Open. He's won it twice.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have any other majors. Scotty Scheffler's only won Masters.
Okay, yeah.
John Rahm has... What has he won? He's won Masters and a U.S. Open, so he still needs 2.
So,
Justin Thomas...
You put both, just for argument's sake, you put DeChambeau and Rory over a 6-foot putt at the Masters again next year. Yeah. Say it comes down to both. Who's probably more likely going to sink that? I have to go with Rory now.
Me too.
DeChambeau's thing, I got to, there's way more pressure on him.
There isn't, if I miss this, what do I have to do to go win?
I got to wait another 364 days.
That's part of watching Rory, yesterday was I couldn't imagine what would happen if he'd lost.
I know.
Like I feel like that might have been his last real chance because I think confidence-wise, he's had the crushing defeats. And then one more like that yesterday would have just obliterated him in my mind. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I think if it is him versus a Bryson next year, 6-foot putt.
Yeah.
Rory's got a little more, I don't give. So he's going to line that up just slightly a little bit better.
And he becomes that joke for why women love him. If he misses.
We will get into Oilers discussion. We'll go through the lineup again for the Oilers or the notes that we have. And we'll talk a little bit more about Mattias Ekholm being out. He's Joaquin Gage. I'm Matt Iwanyk. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Tim Hauraney, F1 Insider, will join us. We'll send you to a Zach Kubusch sports update, a break, and then we'll be back in the with your thoughts. River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. Here's Zach.
Fresh off signing a 2-year entry-level deal with the Oilers, 23-year-old Boston University forward Quinn Hutson makes his NHL debut against the Kings. And Mattias Ekholm has been ruled out for the entirety of the first round. Jake Walman remains day-to-day. No Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, or Troy Stetcher tonight. Draisaitl expected to return for Game 1 with Josh Brown and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins stepping back into the lineup. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola as he tees up the Oilers-Kings game just an hour before puck drop right here on EST. Elsewhere, the Preds take on the hockey club. Sharks and Canucks face off while Ivan Demidov makes his NHL debut as the Canadians battle the Blackhawks. And for the Devils, Paul Cotter has received a 2-game suspension for an illegal check to the head of Adam Pelech from the Islanders over the weekend. Meanwhile, left-handed pitcher Easton Lucas starts for the Jays in their opener against the Brave. Toronto winning 7-6 over Baltimore yesterday. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, and whether it's a one-time donation or a monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. More with Matt Iwanyk and Joaquin Gage once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
The caddies are on these greens telling about, hey, on this green, this is where Tiger Woods made this incredible putt. They would say things to you like, well, here, come over here, try this putt. Where do you think you should hit this? How much do you think it's going to break? And I'd aim here. And they'd go show you where you're supposed to putt, and then you do what they say, and it's like, oh, okay.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
We continue to roll on here on EST Afternoons. Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubusch with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your crew choice for Edmonton Sports. Coming up at 3 o'clock, it is the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Mills. 7 o'clock, GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola will get you set alongside Zach for Oilers and Kings later tonight. Your thoughts always welcome. 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 until 5 o'clock. This text does come in from T-Mac, the rugby guy. Gager, you have a presence about yourself. I was picking up a prize one day as you walked in, and I was stunned in the Gager aura. Just loved as you walked in what brought, the aura.
You were talking about I was smelled or something like that.
No, like that. Like as soon as you walked in, there's just this presence around you.
Come on, stop it.
It's wonderful.
No,
the office just feels great when you're around here.
Really?
We were lacking you last week. Although it seems like people were taking care of us with all the food, but knowing that you weren't here.
What?
Paninos, teen burgers.
Was that Friday? When was that?
The paninis came in on Friday along with donuts, and cheesecake was the day before Thursday, and teen burgers were Tuesday, I believe.
Jesus.
Jay always does bring some stuff too, but he brought some garlic bread twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you have chips as well, or was that the week before?
I think that was the week before.
There was lots of food here, though.
Yeah, we had quite a, we were being taken care of. It's like people knew Gager's off this week. Who's going to feed the boys?
You know what? I was yesterday because I made donaires yesterday.
Ooh.
But I messed up on the meat, so I didn't bring it in because I had extra. But I made. When you have donaires, do you have sweet sauce?
Yes.
Okay, I made my own sweet sauce. It was good.
Yukon Jack makes his own too.
Yeah, I never had it before, and I just thought,
really?
Yeah.
So what do you do with your donaires? Tzatziki sauce?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, I've never had tzatziki sauce in my donaires.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I haven't also had a lot of donaires in my life.
Me neither.
I've maybe had like a count on two hands.
Yeah, Trev's had more donaires in his life than I have.
And we just introduced them to him.
Yeah,
18 months ago.
He probably had twice as many as you guys had in your life in one single week.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he pounding back 2 a day?
Yeah, with the warm chocolate milk, too.
I like this Big Uke. Those Italian Center shop donuts were so good. Big Uke pulled in a shift here that day.
Oh, right.
He was in on the hangout.
Yeah.
He beat me here.
Come on.
He left almost at one point. I'm like, you've been here longer than me. He was here past EST Afternoons into the Reed Wilkins Show.
Oh, what a day.
Bryce the Sparky was also showed up, but not as long as Big Uke. So Big Uke got some donuts while he was doing that. But he was on the hangout, so he made it a little bit of a day here. And he was watching golf as we were all looking for Murray on the broadcast. Here's some notes again on the Edmonton Oilers if you've missed it. Nuge expected to play tonight. McDavid out to rest up. Walman is a maybe for Wednesday. Game 1 for sure. Frederic a maybe for early round 1. Matthias Ekholm out for round 1. Stetcher day-to-day. Hyman is a maybe for game 1. Draisaitl maybe for Wednesday. Game 1 for sure. Josh Brown will play tonight. Hutson in tonight after the Oilers have signed, and Kane awaiting approval from the medical staff for game 1. He also said they never asked him. It was never brought up about the idea of a conditioning stint in Bakersfield. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, does a little bit.
Like, wouldn't you want to get him a game before it actually really matters?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I haven't looked at Bakersfield's positioning. Like, are they in the playoffs though? Correct? Are they?
They're battling. Last I saw, they're out. Last I saw, but they've also battled a bunch of injuries. They've been a very depleted lineup.
And maybe because there is a veteran rule, right? Yeah, I think so. Evander Kane would be considered a veteran, so it might bump someone out. I don't know what the whole situation is, but do you think they would say, hey, can you go down on...
They would have to get his permission and talk to him about it. And he's saying they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Because last week Knobloch was asked about it, and he says, we haven't brought that up yet. Kane would have to approve. And today Kane said he wasn't asked about it yet.
Well, maybe they just didn't want the other guys going down and cheering him on like they did for Gabriel Landeskog. No, you don't. Don't see Connor and Leon flying down to Baco today. Maybe.
They do have some PGs available to them if they need it.
Yeah.
If Ekholm is if it is done season, which there is some concern that it might be, can the Oilers go on a run for a Stanley Cup without Matthias Ekholm? When you look at the defensive core that this team has,
no. That's terrible, and I know people are upset, but I just think he's too big of a piece. Jeez.
Like, here's the thing. At least Darnell Nurse is having a great season.
Look,
or a better season, right? Like, you have that. But you also then, if Ekholm's going to be out, Bouchard has to play a lot better.
Yeah.
He can't be what he's been this regular season and not have Ekholm and expect this team to go far.
I'm not going to say it's impossible, but other guys got to play at a level that's so out of their realm of their top end. There's just so many, like, what is that? 28 minutes sometimes that he's going to chew up, that you're going to get solid defending, hard to play against minutes. Yeah, it's there's going to have to be multiple people to fill in those minutes for Edmonton. And I think you can do it over a certain amount of time, but to get 16 wins in the playoffs, that's tough, man. That's a lot of minutes you're going to have to replace with someone. I'm not going to say it's not impossible, because with Connor and Leon, there's always a chance. Always a chance. And like you said, Darnell Nurse is playing great.
But is Ekholm the third best, like third most important Oiler? You go Connor, you go Leon, you go Ekholm over anyone else? Because the one reason I'll go there is I'll go to last season. When they had that rough start to the season, they were worse than the NHL. Coaching change, all that happens. McDavid was out for part of that, but who also was out for a big chunk of that was Matthias Ekholm. He didn't start last season, and they got off to a very poor start. And then he got healthy, and the team was better. And so that's where, and like, not having him, and he is the number one defenseman of this team. They don't have, I feel like, a proper replacement. And even if Darnell Nurse does play well, who replaces Darnell Nurse?
And what you're saying is the main piece is regular season. Now we're looking at 7-game series against the same opponent every night, first 1 to 4. So that changes the whole dynamic of the situation. And this is why each round is 7 games, because this is how you differentiate between teams, and the better team usually wins. You look in past playoff performances, as you get further into the playoffs, injuries start piling up, and a lot of the times in the finals, you'll see one team that just can't go anymore just because they're too beat up. And I just think you're starting out kind of like that with what the Edmonton Oilers are, and especially without Matthias Ekholm, man. He's just so important to this team. We all saw what happened when he got traded here. It was night and day when that guy came. And I find it's going to be very difficult. Possible, yes, but man, it's going to be hard. Not that it wasn't to begin with.
Gord father does say Kane had a baby who spent like 30 days in neonatal unit and just released. I wouldn't love a conditioning assignment at this time either. I did say you'd be gone for playoffs anyways. And he goes, true, but just came home a couple days ago. I was just looking at the Bakersfield schedule. They have a game on the 18th at home, which is Friday. They have a game 19th on the road. I'm trying to figure out what team this is, because I don't know my AHL teams by logo, and it's not exactly the best. I think Henderson Silver Knights. So if the Oilers are on the road anyways, you could do a conditioning stint on Friday at home for Bakersfield. Get a game and just get a little bit of your legs under you in some sort of game action.
Yeah.
Meet the team in LA on Sunday for Saturday, if that's where they're going to play on, let's say, Sunday. So it's not even a case of with the conditioning. It doesn't even have to be immediate. You could maybe just get a couple of games, and they also play Wednesday night this week.
Just to know you're okay too, I think, right?
Well, it's been over a year since he played hockey.
Yeah.
Right? It was partway into the Stanley Cup Finals he got hurt, and we didn't see him again in that series. And he hasn't played this year. I would think that just to get a game in before a playoffs, it just would be a little bit beneficial, even if it's an American Hockey League game. That with everything the Gordfather said there about, father is it fourth child, but in the child being in the hospital for as long as they were, it's not like you're taking him away. He's going away anyways.
Yeah.
So why not just a day or two sooner to be ready for the playoffs?
Yeah. You know what? And with Evander Kane, I know you mentioned he hasn't played in a year. But I don't worry about Evander Kane's game 1, 2, maybe even 3, but it's 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where the fatigue starts setting in from not doing it over the course of the regular season. That's where because there's going to be adrenaline. He's going to be jacked to get back in there, but then the normal wear and tear of a playoff series and just not playing. That's when you'll probably see if everything goes to plan, I would expect him not to be as effective in those games just because he hasn't played.
This long list that I have here about the Edmonton Oilers. How much do you think is these guys are all injured and banged up? How much is it these guys are just they're being cautious with these guys going into the playoffs? How much is just a combination of both?
Probably, percentage wise.
Yeah. If we go 0% is it's all load management type thing, getting playoff ready. 100%, they're all injured. Where would you put that percentage at? I guess 0 to 10.
0 to 10. Gosh, and you're talking about all these guys.
Because if we go through it, Nuge was an illness. So now you're expecting that this is just...
Nuge is just normal.
He's a zero almost.
Normal wear and tear over the regular season, right? So,
yeah, McDavid was hurt. He was back. Dusty and Reed is agreeing with me behind the scenes. Look at how good he's playing. He's fine. I'm still have a little bit of worry, but he'd be maybe more at the 1 or the 2 maybe for some.
Yeah.
Frederic, he's clearly like an 8 or something. So where would you balance it all out? Hyman.
I think I balance on the other side. Unfortunately, I'm like at 55. 5.5.
Yeah.
I'm closer to they're all injured than, not by much though. But who goes into the playoffs 100%?
But by injured, I mean everyone. Yeah, you're right. Everyone goes in with some sort of bumps and bruises and the wear of an 82-game season. Talking true injuries that kept them out of the lineup here.
Frederic worries me. I'm hesitant with Leon a little bit, because he's taking longer.
Well, it's also injured, comes back. It's a different injury.
Yeah. Hyman's weird because did you see that at all? It was a cross check and we were trying to figure out what it was. It was a shot to the ribs and he pushed and it was that more hip. So, it's a good thing Corey Perry's playing like he's 30 though. What a goal he scored. Unbelievable. Corey Perry's playing unreal. I was actually asking Gene about it. Do you sign Corey Perry? Does he come back again for another year?
I think if he wants to.
He's going to sign someone's going to sign him.
Well, I guess part of this is what happens in the playoffs with him. A lot of what happens is always just going to come down to what happens in the playoffs with this team. What did you make? We're up against the break right away here. But what did you make of Skinner back in the lineup? Stuart Skinner. Did you notice that? Did he seem good to you, healthy wise? Did you notice anything?
Yeah, but it was an exhibition game too. Right?
Yeah, okay.
That's fine. He only allowed one. I thought the goal that looked like a guy that hadn't been playing in a while. Mishandled the puck, created a rebound where he probably in most cases just would have gloved it. It looked fine. Made some good saves short side using his body and stuff, but his body language looked great. That's what I was looking for. Before he was injured, his body language after goals wasn't encouraging for me. I thought there was he was a little bit down on himself. Looked like he was, not putting down his teammates, but things were happening that maybe he was a little bit upset about, opposed to Pickard, where the goals that he's allowing are either a lucky bounce or there was one or two, but for the most part, teams are having to do something special to get the puck past him. And Skinner, in my mind, has been allowing a lot of easier ones. And if you can't have that type of goaltending if you don't have Matthias Ekholm in them.
He's Joaquin Gage. I'm Matt Iwanyk. I've made Gager not be able to talk F1 for an hour. I feel bad. I did want to get to a little bit earlier, but we do have Tim Hauraney coming up next, TSN F1 Insider, as well as Nailing the Apex. We'll get Gager's thoughts on the F1 weekend, and we'll continue with this discussion on the Edmonton Oilers. They're getting set to host the LA Kings tonight, 8 o'clock down at Rogers Place. As I said, he's Joaquin Gage. I'm Matt Iwanyk. We will go to a break, come back with a Zacticum Sports update, and then Tim Hauraney on the other side of the break here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Celebrate your birthday at the Banquet Bar. Enjoy great drinks, amazing vibes, and unforgettable memories. Download the Banquet app and get a free pizza pie on your birthday. Book your party today at thebanquetbar.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
The Oilers limp into their game against the Kings tonight. No Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Jake Walman, Zach Hyman, or Matthias Ekholm, with Ekholm being ruled out for the first round of playoffs. Draisaitl expected to be good to go for Game 1. And with the injuries forward, Quinn Hutson makes his debut and Josh Brown steps back into the lineup. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show alongside Tom Gazzola as he tees up the action live on EST at 7. And out east, Montreal is still chasing a playoff spot, battling Chicago tonight. Ivan Demidov making his NHL debut for the Habs, while the Rangers face off with the Panthers, and the Sharks challenge the Canucks on a 6-game NHL slate. And from Toronto, the Jays and Braves open their 3-game set with Easton Lucas taking the mound for the Jays. There's 9 other games, including the Mets and Twins meeting as the Rockies clash with the Dodgers. In Phoenix, the Suns have fired Mike Budenholzer after Phoenix missed the playoffs with the highest payroll in league history. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoon starts right now.
EST Afternoons, Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage with you here on this Monday alongside Zacticum. Reminder, coming up at 3 o'clock, it is the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Oilers Kings later tonight, 8 o'clock on Amazon Prime. Some notes from the LA Kings. Drew Doughty will play today. It looks like they're going with as heavy a roster as they can. Kemper will get the start in net. No McDavid for the Edmonton Oilers. Nuge will be back in the lineup. No Hyman. No Ekholm. We've gone through all of the Oilers, but they've got their team playing tonight. The only guys that didn't come to Edmonton Joel Edmondson and Tanner Jeannot. They're the only two players to remain back in LA for the LA Kings, who had 23 players make this road trip. But Drew Doughty did. He will be in the lineup tonight when the Oilers take on the Kings. The Kings doing everything they can to make sure they have that home ice against the Edmonton Oilers. We want to get your thoughts in a bit. 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree inbox. As well, you can jump into the Nasty Chat portions of this hour, brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Make beer cheap again at the Canadian Brewhouse. Molson Canadian Steins for just $4.50, 25% off Monday to Friday, open till 7 p.m. Round up your crew and stop by the Canadian Brewhouse. We haven't yet talked F1. Now's the time to talk F1. And joining us, there's no one better in this country to talk F1 with than Tim Hauraney, our next guest, TSN F1 insider and nailing the apex. Tim, thanks for taking the time once again to join us. Bahrain Grand Prix this past weekend. Just your overall thoughts of what we saw happen yesterday during the race.
Well, first of all, how's it? Very much for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. Great. Well, it was definitely an upgrade over. I will say that. Very exciting, and I think when we take probably at this drivers' championship, I mean, at the end of this, it's like you've got probably 4 different drivers who could be in to win the title at the moment. The question, besides looking in, would be, can the team, can Ferrari back together? Can they competitive later on in the season push to sort of make a charge for that title as well? So I think out of the race, that's what I was looking at. The most was championship and just how close everything is. But then on top of all that, I mean, you've got down at Red Bull happening at the moment. Lando Norris losing his confidence in the MCL 39. Oscar Piastri looking more like a team leader at McLaren. So there's a lot of need after this one, that's for sure.
Tim, speaking of just McLaren, how and you mentioned Norris losing some of his confidence here. How
I think
long?
I lost you there, Gager.
Oh, sorry.
I think we got you back.
There you are, buddy.
Oh, sorry. We're back. Okay. I want to expand on your talking about Lando Norris losing some of his confidence and Oscar Piastri looking like Max Verstappen over the last few years, just on a nice Sunday drive. How do you see that team dynamic moving forward? If Lando can't, I mean, not that he's not putting some pressure, but it seems like there's more pressure on him to perform than there is Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, and I think that comes directly from Lando. I think he is the one who does put that pressure on himself. I don't think the team really puts much pressure on Lando. I think the team as a whole, they do as much as they can to try and support him, and if he's struggling, they also do their best to try and help him through his struggles. And I think for the team in general, when you take a look at both of these drivers, very talented. I think for Lando, it's like when he is on, he is extremely fast. He's very hard to beat. But when he's having a rough day, man, he's having a rough day. Like, the McLaren is the fastest car on the grid right now. Is it going to be the fastest car on the grid in 8 races time, though? I mean, that's going to be the question. So this is the time where if you're Lando Norris, you have to sort of build up your lead, right? You have to execute at every single race you go to and score maximum points. It's 3rd place maximum points for that car. It's not. Okay, he should have finished P2. Mm-hmm. I mean, Oscar Piastri was just dominant yesterday. Nobody could come close to him, not even Lando in the same equipment. Like, that's how far ahead Oscar was. Like, Lando couldn't even do comparable lap times during the race. So that's a concern if you're Lando Norris, because your teammate who's only done 50 races, 50 Grand Prix, you're Lando Norris, you've been in Grand Prix racing way longer than that. So you shouldn't be getting thrashed around by your younger teammate like that. I think it just shows us how good Oscar Piastri is. And I think it also shows that there are some cracks in Lando's armor that is starting to form. And I think this week he needs to really buckle down, work with the crew more, try and get his confidence in the car back, because you can see it when he's going into slow speed corners, medium speed corners, fast corners. He just doesn't have that confidence in the car to extract the maximum performance from it. And I think also, Gager, when we look at the way he acts in the media is, it's not, I mean, it's good for us, right? Because he is being very transparent. He's giving us the truth, and he's telling us how he feels, which is, I think, that's a good thing for us. But for himself and for his competitors, they get a lot out of that, right? They see a lot. When he says he's not doing well and talks about how he's struggling and what he's really struggling on, he gets really down on himself and he gets really hard on himself. Those are all sort of strikes against you, right? And strikes against your confidence. And then the other drivers start to see it, and then they can start to peel away the layers of that onion as the season goes along, right? Like, not only is this a battle on the racetrack, it's also a battle off the racetrack as well.
Tim, just in your driving experience, obviously there must have been some times where that confidence was waning a little bit. What did you do to kind of talk yourself up? I mean, I know Lando has these things in the media where he talks and he's self-deprecating and things like that. But when do you think it's gotten to the point where he's starting to believe some of that stuff? And I just want to hear what you would do if when you ran into those situations.
Yeah, that's a great question, because, when I was racing, I worked with sports psychologists and stuff like that throughout my career. And, a big part of it was trying to keep your confidence. With racing, confidence can be quite fleeting, and you need it because you're driving a race car at 300 kilometers an hour, and, you're risking a lot, and you need to believe in yourself at all times, and you need to believe in the car at all times as well. And so if you're not trusting in those things, then it shows in the lap time, and it shows in what you're doing out on the racetrack as well. I think, for myself, when I faced a confidence issue, my biggest thing was always just understanding where I was struggling, why I was struggling, get to the root problem of it. And then the next time in the race car, work on that certain area. Is it like a different setup change that I needed done to the car? Is that what it was? I remember one race. This was in an undercard to an F1 race, Formula Renault, and we had trimmed the car out because there was a lot of straightaways on the track that we were racing at the time, and we basically took a lot of the downforce off of the car. And I remember that getting in, driving, and just feeling how light and floaty it started to become going through some of the corners. And then, understanding at that moment, like, hey, you've trimmed off a lot of the downforce. Of course, this car is not going to hang around in fast corners. Like, you're going to have to really figure this out and do it quickly because your competitors are breathing down your neck at the moment. So in that moment, it's just trying to understand and believe in the car, right? And believe in your skill set, that if something goes sideways really quickly, that my talent's going to be enough to catch up with it, right? So it's like one of those sayings in racing, right? When you crash, you run out of talent. So it's just making sure you don't get to that point, right? But yeah, it was about getting out of the car, understanding why I was feeling so uncomfortable with it, and making sure the next time we make a setup change like that, we don't go in this direction type of deal. And so I think for Lando in his case, it's understanding like where is the sweet spot of this car? Where is the sweet spot where he's going to feel confident in it? And that doesn't mean that you're going to be fast every single weekend, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's going to be weekends where you are going to get thrashed by your teammates, but there's going to be weekends where you're going to be the one who's doing the thrashing. So it's understanding where you're comfortable in the car, because you're never going to be comfortable, but where you're going to have that confidence to extract the performance from the race car your maximum is what's crucial. It's not what the other guy is doing.
Ferrari, they go 4-5 this weekend with Charles and Lewis through 4 races as we head into Saudi Arabia this week. Where do you think Ferrari's at right now?
I said coming into this one that this was going to be a big weekend for Ferrari. They were going to find out whether or not they had performance in this car and if it's worth developing throughout the season, or if they just shut it all down and they focus on next year's regulation. So Ferrari brought a brand new floor to their car for this weekend. Now, I heard from Charles Leclerc, and he did explain to us that, like, look, the floor worked. It gave us some performance, but it's not going to be very representative until we get to Saudi Arabia, which is this coming weekend. And the reason he says that is because of the high-speed content of Saudi Arabia. Bahrain is not really filled with high-speed content. Like, there's some fast straightaways, but the corners are slow to medium fast, really. So for them, they've figured that they've basically pushed the car as far as it can go. They've tapped out on the performance of it, but there is good bones to it, and they can build upon this car moving forward. And I think that it all is down to Charles Leclerc doing experiments with the setup. If you go back to China was a really important race for them, especially for Charles Leclerc, because he did experiments on race setup, right? He was the one who did it. He went in these weird directions with the car, and he was able to make it work. We saw him beating Lewis Hamilton with a broken front wing. That's not supposed to be possible, but it showed us that the direction that Charles was going in with the car was working for him, and it had performance. They just needed to figure out where it was and how they were going to extract it from the car. Bahrain was the confirmer. This was the track that confirmed it. Leclerc using these wonky setups was actually something that was working for them. And so moving forward, I look at it and I think that in the next 4, 5, 6 races, when they start to bring some more updates to the car, I actually think this is a car that can actually start competing for podiums and maybe even race wins, because I thought Leclerc actually drove a really, really solid race on Sunday.
Tim, as always, we appreciate the stuff, and I'm sure the boys will chat with you at some point relatively soon here in the F1 season.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
There's Tim Hauraney, TSN F1 Insider, Nailing the Apex podcast. Gager, I get 2 questions for you. I'll start with the first one coming from Dave in Section T in the River Korean box. What's going on with the technical issues during the race? George's tracking system, Mercedes seems to have multiple problems with this car. The pit stop release lights costing Max 3 or more seconds. The replacement they used also seemed to be broken. And there was a lot of just a little bit of weirdness.
I think they refer to it as gremlins, right?
Yeah.
And that get into the car and the tracking. Yeah, that scared me because I had George on one of my teams, and when you were watching the timing board, George just started falling down. I thought he crashed. And I goes, "Where's the red flag or something?" And it was just because his transponder wasn't working.
His DRS opened up.
Yeah, and then there was. I was trying to find out because the FIA was going to look because it seemed that his DRS opened up in a spot where it shouldn't have.
There was no one in front of him.
Yeah, so that was. I mean, it's weird that these multi-million-dollar things have these issues with them. I don't think there's any excuse for the light in the pit stop because that's what the driver's looking at. As soon as that thing goes green, they're gone, right? And it didn't. And even to have the wherewithal of both drivers, Yuki and Max, to go, why is that? And just go anyways, right? So, yeah. And then you obviously hear. I mean, F1 websites are the best because I think they just throw stuff out there. But now Max is unhappy at Red Bull.
Well, that's obviously where I'm going to go next. And I'm reading a piece on ESPN right now that says Marco at Helmut.
Yeah.
Is that
Helmut Marco?
Helmut. It's just Helmut.
Yeah.
He's outright said it's concern is growing that Max will leave at the end of the year because of where Red Bull is. That they're having their issues and he's going to go.
Well,
what a week makes.
I know.
He goes wins last weekend.
Right, yeah.
And this weekend comes.
Now
and
he wants to leave. Come on. What I've heard from Max, it's all about the power unit, right? Because this is the last year that the Honda power unit was in Red Bull, and now they're going to make their own power units. And
and the regulation changes.
The changes. And there are advantages to building your own power units because you can directly basically build the car around it, right? So there could be an advantage to that, but also you've lost Adrian Newey, one of the people who say he's just as important as some drivers.
Alpine, right?
Or
where did he go? Martin. He went to Aston.
Yeah.
Next year when we get the 2 extra cars?
Yeah, Cadillac comes in, and Newey's not even, from what, I mean, Tim's even said it, he's not even looking at this year's car. Like, although Lance Stroll holding down 10th in the Drivers' Championship.
I got to figure out my team. I got nothing with drivers. I loaded up on McLaren and Ferrari, and I've got nothing for drivers, and Sainz is having too many DNFs right now. It's killing me. He's my 2 times racer too.
Look, he looked great too until he had some contact and the car fell apart and he had to retire. That hurts.
We are live in the William Huff studio. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry experience and desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website, williamhuff.com, or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. If you go to their website right now, you can get the Edmonton Oilers playoff pack until 6 o'clock today. You could get it over the course of the next few days, obviously, but until 6 o'clock today, you can use the promo code EST Huff for a discount. You got the pom-poms with our wonderful, ours have the EST sticker on them. You get this banner. We've got the stickers. Yeah, here's the sticker that I got. Let's go Oilers. We've got some decals. All sorts of things. Decal, stickers, banners, pom-poms. Use EST Huff for 10% off. WilliamHuff.com. Click on the store. It's all right there. No better way to get decked out. Get your office decked out. Get your house. Get your garage decked out for the Oilers playoffs, which will begin this upcoming weekend. We'll get into the River Cree inbox. We will get into the nasty chat. We'll continue our discussion on the Edmonton Oilers. It is a game day. They are taking down the LA Kings. He's Joaquin Gage. I'm Matt Iwanyk. We'll do that after this Sports Center update with Zach to come and a little short break. Here's Zach with your sports update.
The Oilers limp into their game against the Kings. No Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Jake Walman, Zach Hyman, or Matthias Ekholm tonight. Ekholm being ruled out for the first round of playoff action, while Draisaitl is expected to be good to go for Game 1. And with the injuries, forward Quinn Hutson makes his NHL debut, and Josh Brown steps back into the lineup. Tune into the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola. As he tees up the action, you can listen or watch live right here on EST at 7 o'clock. And according to Frank Zaravalli from Daily Faceoff, San Jose's captain Logan Couture has a press conference scheduled for tomorrow to announce his retirement as a result of injury. Out east, Montreal is still chasing a playoff spot, battling Chicago, while the Rangers face off against the Panthers, and the Sharks challenge the Canucks on a 6-game NHL slate. From Toronto, the Jays and Braves open their 3-game set with Easton Lucas taking the mound for Toronto. And there's 9 other games, including the Mets and Twins meeting as the Rockies clash with the Dodgers. This Sports Update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc. They're the experts you need to know. More with Joaquin Gage and Matt Iwanyk on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
It's not just the mics that are hot there, Zacticum. He just yelled at us that the mics are hot. DSC Afternoons, Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubusch. Just a great show today. I know we have a couple more segments left, but we've got a lot discussed so far.
Yeah,
F1,
we've
Masters,
done a lot.
Oilers.
Yeah.
We want to get your thoughts. Nasty chat. You could also jump into the afternoon inbox, presented by River Curry Resort and Casino. Coming up on May 3rd, it is the Elton Ron tribute to Elton John show, which Zach is going to. He's going with his mom. Later, June 6th this year, ZZ Top is going to the River Cree. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Really?
Or the River Cree box office. Yeah.
Eliminator.
They always get some good acts out at River Cree. Yeah, ZZ Top.
I love
Sharp Dressed Men.
TV dinners.
I for the longest time, I didn't know there was more than, I thought there was just the two Longbeard guys.
Oh, really?
I thought that was ZZ Top. It was just the two of them.
Yeah, no. I remember a rock and roll documentary they were on there, and all their influences stuff, like it's playing the guitar, Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was pretty cool. Neat guys. You know, they were offered like millions of dollars by Bic, like the shavers, to shave their beards, and they wouldn't. No. They said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah, no, they were
who
rock
you are.
stars, man.
That's sellout.
That is a sellout.
That is you. When Krusty the Clown gets the Canyonero.
Yeah,
he was completely against corporations. He was doing the comedy bits against corporations, and then he's like, "Yeah, these fat cats come and then I drove in this car in the Canyonero. But like, it's just also one of the, like, if you're ZZ Top, you've built this thing off your beard. They would just be full sellout, and I don't think your audience would love that.
No, they would have hated it.
You know, Krusty the Clown had Homer Simpson burning his pants on the table, burning his cash. Don't you hate pants? Penner's Pancakes. I can appreciate Maddie's shirt. Thank you. The Yoshi shirt. It's the one shirt I get. I've had this for so long. It's the one shirt I have that gets more compliments than anyone.
Oh, really?
Else. People love Yoshi except one person I know.
Who?
Warren Barris. He used to work with us at the old place. Couldn't stand Yoshi. So we'd always get into arguments about Yoshi.
Why wouldn't you like Yoshi?
Because Warren's a Red Sox fan. Like he has his issues with picking things that are cool.
All right.
Outside of the Baltimore Ravens, he does cheer for the Baltimore
I think
Ravens.
I held him up for a keg stand one time.
Oh yeah, did you come for that? You were there for that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun because he had never done a cake stand before.
No.
And we brought, then you would have been come in and we brought some wrestlers, local wrestlers in.
We had to bring in a few people for that.
Oh, I think we got Dave. Did Dave do it?
There was a wrestler.
No, Dave was just there.
And Uke and stuff. Yeah, that's where I remember because I think it was still Will and Dusty, right? Back
They would have
then?
been in the morning show at the time because
And-
that was a long time ago. Like I still have a photo of that, I think.
And then I sent them a text with the Jeffersons moving on up because I was going to FM. And I'd been on the radio like 5 times.
I gotta see if I gotta find the photo one day because we all took I go find it every so often.
Yeah.
Just the big photo of just everyone that was there because Warren got his first keg stand. And yeah, we had a keg stand just happening at the office. That's kind of just what we did.
Yeah, I came in for that. That's hilarious.
I think it's gonna take me a while to find this picture. Maybe I'll have to do it in a commercial break. Because if I find here it is. I will have to send this I'll have to send this to Zach.
Oh yeah.
To see if we can get it on the screen after. Oh, don't damage your laptop, man. Yeah, you're not there in this photo, so we took this photo after it at all. Oh, it would have been better if you were there.
I know.
We don't need to show all this. Oh, look at Dave. I miss Dave. He called me today. Had a nice little chat with Dave. Yeah, driving in. He was telling me something. It's just always good to hear his voice. Here's the thing about the Oilers and the Kings tonight. With the roster the LA Kings are coming with them playing Doughty, with them playing Kemper, with them, and they're knowing the Oilers aren't playing all their guys. They're signaling that they care so much about home ice. And to the question we were talking about in the first hour, like where's that pressure on game one if this series ultimately does start in LA? It's even more in LA because they're making it more. You know, they could come out tonight. Doughty's day to day. You could sit them.
Yeah.
You could start resting guys here. They're okay. These guys are going to take a rest tonight. You take the rest against the Flames. You take the rest against the Canucks. You could space this rest out getting ready for the playoffs. You can just start being prepared. No, they're going all out for home ice tonight.
Yeah, they are. Kopitar, Kempe, Kuzmenko, Byfield, Fiala, Laferriere, Deneau, Moore, Fogle, Elenas, Turcotte, and Malott. That's the big dogs.
Even scoring Rittich tonight, possibly.
Yeah, even just why wouldn't you throw Rittich in? You know,
right, and I get they're making it clear. We want to go win this game. We want home ice. This is important to us. Whereas the Edmonton Oilers win tonight ties them with the LA Kings.
Imagine if Kemper goes down.
Well, imagine if this Oilers team lights him up.
So okay,
how much of a win is that for the Edmonton Oilers going into the playoffs?
Let me ask you something. Is this more about home ice or more about the LA Kings knowing that they're going to play the Oilers in the next week at the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs by having success at Rogers, a place where they haven't had tons of success?
It's about home ice because I don't even think you could be the LA Kings and sit there and try to fool yourselves. Look at this. We just got this win. You know what the Oilers lineup is tonight. You know that Rogers Place isn't going to be a playoff Rogers Place. Even if this was a full roster, Rogers Place wouldn't fully be a playoffs Rogers Place. But Oiler fans are not coming to this game going, all right, we're going to bring it for it's the LA Kings would completely be trying to fool themselves at that point. This is about, they want to make sure games 1, 2, and a potential game 7 are in LA. That's what I'm reading of this.
Yeah.
Whereas the Edmonton Oilers are sitting there going, yeah, it'd be nice if we could have home ice. It would take a little bit of help for the Kings would have to lose one more game, but it'd be nice to have home ice. We could maybe go do it, but you want to know something? We could just beat LA no matter what. We just need to be healthy. So we're going to be healthy.
Yeah. Give ourselves the best chance when it matters most.
Exactly. Whereas for the Kings, it'd be one of those things where, again, you could take 2 or 3 guys, rest them tonight, play them on the next game when they take on the Calgary Flames, and then take 3 other guys and rest them. And then, give Kemper one of the last 2 starts, give Rittich that other start. But tonight, make sure, because here's this text comes in. It's almost to what you were saying there from Kreger. Josh Brown needs to run Kemper tonight. John even says that in the nasty chat too. I just look over. Josh Brown should take a run at Kemper. I'm not saying you want injury or anything like that, but if you're the Edmonton Oilers, would that shock you if Josh Brown goes through the crease?
Just drive hard to the net. I'd be driving hard to the net every chance I got. You want to send kind of a message tonight. You want to go, you know what? This is going to be awful.
Well, and I don't think the LA Kings can send a message to the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Because no matter what the Oilers could say is, yeah, but we didn't have McDavid, we didn't have Draisaitl, we didn't have Ekholm. We didn't have Hyman. So no matter, like the LA Kings could come in and run the Oilers tonight 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a single message that they're sending to the Edmonton Oilers, because the Oilers will just respond with, yeah, we'll see you when our lineup's full. Whereas the Oilers have an option, like if the Oilers find a way to win tonight is a message.
Yeah.
If the Oilers are physical tonight, are in Kemper's face the whole night, all of that, there's a message that could be sent.
I mean, the biggest message, if the Oilers can win tonight with this skeleton crew lineup.
I changed my thought on the Oilers versus the Kings series.
Yeah.
Right now, I'd lean the Kings. I don't think the Kings would stand a chance in the playoffs at that point.
This looks like the Oilers treating this as a preseason game and this looks like if you're playing 8 preseason games, this is game 8 in LA, right? So, yeah, that talk about putting the seed of doubt into a team so close to the playoffs. It all counts. I think the Oilers are in a win-win kind of. They lose, well, we didn't have everyone in the lineup. But if they win and go, gosh, we can beat these guys without our best 2 players, and they had their full lineup. It was a big game, man.
And the flip side for the LA Kings, win-lose. They lose tonight. Well, let's say win-lose-lose. They win tonight, great, because you got home ice.
Yeah.
And that is that they are a great home ice team. And if there is a game 7, they're in a better spot. Where they could lose tonight is there's the risk of injuries, just straight up. There's the physicality, the message that the Oilers could potentially send, all of those combined into one. And then the third is you just actually lose this hockey game, which would just be not good. I don't think that that's good for confidence going into a series for the LA Kings.
No, I don't.
They'll say all the right things.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, you would have to start thinking some little part is creeping into their mind already of, are we going to be doing this again?
What do you want to see from the Edmonton Oilers? It can be a subtle little area of the game that
I think it's just being physical. Just amplifying that physicality. I know that's not exactly a Chris Knobloch message he likes to do. It's not exactly a sign of a Chris Knobloch type team.
Yeah.
But that's what I would like to your point. Like, hey, we're going to see you in a few days. It's going to be difficult. We're going to make your life a living hell.
Yeah. I'm sure I want to see what Corey Perry does in the blue paint tonight.
Yeah.
Just making sure, letting everyone know that, you know what, I'm going to be leasing this real estate over the next little while. And you're going to have to deal with it. I'm squatting.
I'm taking over the net now.
Squatting, paying no rent.
This is my area. We also have, when it comes, big game for the Calgary Flames tonight. If the LA Kings lose, the Kings are still going to be playing they have to play for home ice. The Flames and them meet. If the Kings win, they might get a more rested LA Kings lineup as the Calgary Flames look to try to snag 2 wins. They've got the Golden Knights. They've got the Kings. They're going to see if they can find a way to maybe knock out St. Louis. Imagine if St. Louis gets knocked out of the playoffs.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, but also it would be something else because it'd be they were such a hot team. The conversation around it was something, but they still might miss these playoffs. Now they got the Utah Hockey Club coming up this week.
Mm-hmm.
They should win that game. But imagine if they don't and the Calgary Flames pass them.
So who does Calgary have? They have
Golden Knights, who have nothing left to play for. They got the LA Kings, who, depending on what happens tonight, might have nothing to play for.
God, it must be tough for Calgary to cheer. Maybe that's why the lineup's so depleted. But
they're cheering for the Kings.
Oh, I know. Oh, right, yeah.
You want the Kings to win tonight if you're Calgary Flames, because then they're done. They're not getting first, but they're not dropping to third. But if the Oilers win tonight, the LA Kings, do they go? I think the LA Kings go Calgary, then Vancouver. They go.
Okay.
No. Oh, I got the LA Kings. I don't know where I was getting Vancouver from. Oh, Vegas is Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'm mistaken. They go Seattle, then Calgary. If the Oilers, if let's say you're LA and you lose to Seattle, and the Oilers beat the Sharks on Wednesday night, it's a big game for the Calgary Flames. You need to go win that game.
Yeah.
So the Flames need the LA Kings to win tonight, so that the LA Kings will look at Seattle and Calgary and go, whatever.
Yeah, let's rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in that last game of the season.
That's probably... Yeah, you want them to win because then they don't care, right? Yeah, you're right. Okay.
St. Louis, though, as Utah. Minnesota has... What did Minnesota have last? Anaheim.
So, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Vegas, St. Louis.
As of right now, it's Winnipeg, St. Louis.
Or Winnipeg, St.
Vegas,
Louis. Yeah.
Minnesota. Minnesota's back into the Pacific here.
Right.
And we are closing in. We're very close to the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Atlantic Division. And they get to meet the Ottawa Senators, which is just going to be great.
Oh, it's so awesome.
And then you have the Montreal Canadiens. They're closing in on locking a playoff spot. The Montreal Canadiens will clinch a playoff spot if they beat the Blackhawks in any fashion tonight. The East will have all the teams locked up. As for the Tampa Bay Lightning, tonight they don't play, but there is a scenario for the playoffs for them. They'll clinch a top 2 finish in the Atlantic Division and home ice advantage in the first round of the series if the Panthers lose to the Rangers in regulation. So that there's a few things to play for tonight.
What's the best series right now? Would you say is the most watchable series?
Well, Stars Avs.
Yeah.
And then it's Leafs Sens.
Yeah. Stars Avs are going to be. I can't believe that Landeskog's back.
And I think Oilers Kings is right up there too. There's a lot of intrigue in that one. There's a lot of question marks I have about that one.
It's different this year, right? It's different. Kings have changed.
I wouldn't have had a lot of hope for the Kings in those first 2 years. They ended up pushing them far. Last year, no hope for the LA Kings, and the Oilers just dispatched them quickly. This year, I think there's more concern for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Like looking at that opponent, that's what makes this one interesting. I think of the 4 years, this is the Kings' best shot at it.
The reason why, the only other year that I felt that the Kings had the advantage was Korpisalo. And he was great for the first 3 or 4 games and then fell apart. But now Darcy Kemper has solidified that position. What a great trade.
Well, Kemper, Connor Hellebuyck 2.02 GAA, Kemper 2.05. Save percentage, Hellebuyck 924, Kemper 921.
Yeah, we were talking with
right
Dusty.
there.
The top 3, who were you? Well, I guess he got maybe Thompson in there for what he did in Washington, but
Vasilevsky, Kemper,
and Hellebuyck, right?
Yeah.
That's
what I'm expecting.
I know. That's what gives me a lot of pause for the Edmonton Oilers with the injuries and the play of Darcy Kemper.
Hellebuyck, Dry, McKinnon, Hart.
Yeah,
that's what I would expect. We've just got a few more minutes left here on the EST afternoons. I was about to say that.
I know. I was like, am I?
Iwanyk and Gage are with you here. Penner's Pancakes, Leaf Sends, just for the potential of a catastrophic meltdown. That's the only reason I do too. Like, it's going to be great as somebody who cheers against the Toronto Maple Leafs because it's the two things. Either they lose to the Sens, which is this team hasn't made the playoffs in a number of years. You finally win your division and you lose to your provincial rival. Or, okay, you win. Here's the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers for you. There's your reward.
If I
Good
own
luck,
a sports
Toronto.
store, I'm stocking it in Edmonton with Brady Tkachuk jerseys because I think you could sell them.
If he wins, definitely you could sell them. We'll come back and wrap things up on EST Afternoons. Tell you what's coming up on the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. He's Gage. I'm Iwanyk. Here's a Zach Sports update. You're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch met with the media this morning saying that Leon Draisaitl is expected to be back for Game 1 of playoffs, while Mattias Ekholm has been rolled out for the entire first round against the Kings. And it's Kings-Oilers tonight. No Zach Hyman, Connor McDavid, Jake Walman, or Troy Stetcher. Josh Brown will step back in, and Quinn Hutson will make his NHL debut against the Kings. Tom Gazzola gets you set for the action just an hour before puck drop during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tune in only at 7 o'clock right here on EST. And according to Daily Faceoff's Frank Saravalli, Sharks captain Logan Couture will be announcing his retirement tomorrow during a press conference, with Couture missing the entire season this year and playing only 6 games last year due to injury. There's 5 other games on tap. Ivan Demidov debuts for the Habs against the Blackhawks. Utah visits Nashville, while Detroit hosts Dallas. And left-handed pitcher Easton Lucas starts for the Jays in their opener against the Braves, going 2-0 so far this season with a 0 ERA through 10 innings played. Meanwhile, Toronto's Max Scherzer is to meet with the doctors once again as he continues to suffer from thumb soreness in his pitching arm. He's played just 3 innings this entire season. The final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Well, I'm sorry I have a Twitter feed. I see stuff when you add me.
Well, now you know the spelling.
I know how to spell that word.
The word of the day is kitsch.
Like
hang on.
Kitsch is
slow your roll. Reed, could you please
Kitsch.
I don't know what you look at
have
open.
Actually, the amount of tabs I have open would reduce the likelihood of me seeing the word.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon, 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you've got to do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
.248. This is EST Afternoons. Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage with you here. Hernan Salas, he'll be back next Monday. He's out in Mexico having some cervezas. Apparently posting some stuff you guys are seeing.
I heard all these. He keeps talking about his legs and how beautiful his legs are.
Does he?
Yeah. And I'm like, geez, he's not really filling out those 501s. So he said he was going to take, I said I wanted a progression because I got to get some sun on them.
He wants to get to my level.
Yeah. And I'm like, you can't jump ahead. You got to see a slow progression. I want to see the evolution of these stems that he talks about so proudly. So whatever.
You think he's watching the Oilers while out there?
Of course he is.
I know. He probably, I'm not going to, but
he's finding
got it on his phone next to him.
Oh, of course he does.
He's finding a way. Also, Zachary Kubusch with you here. Coming up 3 until 6, we do got the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Luke Gazdick will be on the show today. 7 o'clock is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream, a pregame show as Tommy and Zach will get you set for Oilers and Kings later tonight. Are you on Prayer Post? I don't know who's on Prayer Post.
No idea.
Okay.
Matt Cassian.
Cass is in?
Cass
is in, yeah.
All right.
Nice. So that's all to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk throughout the rest of the day. Let's continue in with the final. I'll go through the lineup right away here for the Edmonton Oilers. The afternoon inbox, it is presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, $18.99 prime rib special, available 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. till 11:30 at night, available for dine-in and takeout, not available on show nights. I got the long list for the Edmonton Oilers, courtesy Tom Gazzola's tweet from earlier. Reinergen Hopkins expected to play tonight. McDavid out to rest up. Walman maybe on Wednesday, but game one for sure. Frederic maybe early round one. That's not very hopeful to me. Ekholm out for round one. Stetcher is day-to-day. Hyman a maybe for game one. Draisaitl maybe for Wednesday. Game one for sure. Brown recalled plays tonight. Hutson in tonight. Kane awaiting approval from medical staff for game one of the playoffs. So there's your little bit of an update there. Bones does say in the River Cree box, if Hutton has success in Edmonton, would it break the Justin Schultz, John Marino curse? Is there a curse? So they don't have luck with the college for agents? Is that where we're going with?
Is that why?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect. I loved Gazzola. Dusty read a question to Gazzola from the Nasty Chat today of just like, what do you think Hutson going to be? He's like, I've never watched this guy really play. Like, there's just so many guys. It's hard to watch everyone. Like, I don't know how you know everything. So it's like, I haven't seen him play. So I don't have any take on Hutson either. I definitely, if Tommy hasn't seen him play, I definitely haven't seen him play.
I didn't know the one guy had a brother. So like, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah,
Pretty sure there's two brothers. There's a lot of Hudsons.
Is there? I hope he's successful. Like, cool. I'm shocked that families with multiple siblings in the NHL. That's amazing to me. Very talented family. But, I mean, you hope has some success. Maybe he can get a point. Maybe be fortunate enough, just like a young Luke Gazdic, to score in your first game. You know, those types of things. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm still waiting for a full schedule from the NBA. They just announced game ones. Or after the play-in. The Lakers do play Saturday, 5:30 out in LA, which it would have to be an early afternoon game for the LA Kings and the Oilers to play. So that's not happening. The LA Kings also play Thursday night. Reed was the first one to point that out last week. So Sunday or Monday they would start. The NBA is known for taking a couple days off between games.
Yeah.
That's the like even early on. Yeah. That's why like right now you would think it'll go Saturday, Monday, the Lakers. So the Kings Oilers have to start on the Sunday. But there is a potential that the Lakers Timberwolves might play on the Tuesday. So do you start on the Sunday? The only thing I know for Rogers Place, I love the projection of when schedules are. I don't know why we love doing this, but I do. The Rogers Place has something next Saturday.
Really?
Yeah. They have Nelly is here next Saturday.
And Rogers Place?
Sorry, no, that's Monday.
Okay.
Monday, it's Nelly. Next Saturday, so not the 19th, the week after, the 26th. Busch is in town.
Oh, Busch.
So, like, if Oilers Kings started on Sunday, if they go every 2 days, it'd be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They can't do Saturday. So either game 3 of the Oilers would have to move to the Friday, or game 4 of the Oilers would have to move to the Sunday. That said, if they start on the Monday, it could go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. But yeah, Busch is here that Saturday, so the Oilers won't be playing that Saturday.
The Oilers want as many days off in between as possible. I'm surprised they don't have 10 concerts.
Just to help space things out?
Do you think Nelly still wears that Band-Aid on his chin or his cheek?
I have no idea, but Ja Rule's there. And so was Chingy.
Ja Rule?
I think.
Fire Festival.
That's trending right now, Fire Festival too.
Yeah. What a great...
Well, a lot of cities in Mexico were like, we're not hosting this. We haven't given approvals. Let's go in somewhere else. Like, we haven't approved this.
Oh, man.
And people have paid money. And I did see that in like the fine notes, it is no refunds for whatever reason. So all those stupid people
it's the same guy.
Yes. And people paid money. Some people have already paid money.
Have you watched that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like the moment you see this guy saying, I'm going to do it again, it's a moment. No, not a chance.
He was trying to swindle people out of money right after. Like while he was going to court. He was trying to, jeez.
Are you going to start watching Last of Us? Season 2 began last night. Am I going to be able to come to the office to talk to you about it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Or do I have no one to talk to about? Because I don't know if anyone else around here watches Last of Us.
Really? No one watches Last of Us?
I have no idea. You're the only one that I know did, for sure.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Okay. Well, let me know. I don't want to spoil things for you.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you know. Jeez.
I had White Lotus for the last.
Is that over?
Yeah, it ended last Sunday.
Was it good?
Yesterday. I enjoyed it.
You
The
love
third
it.
best season of the 3.
Oh, okay.
But now I'm just glad. Like, it's nice to have a minutia Last of Us. I've been waiting for Last of Us, and they actually confirmed season 3 for Last of Us yesterday too.
Did they?
Yep.
Well, aren't they working on a new game too? I think my son told me they were working on a new. But it's in the works.
Spency 5 centsy. Firefest me once, shame on you. Firefest me twice, shame on me. Coming up, we do have Reed Wilkin. It's the Reed Wilkin Show with Jay Milne. Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne, as I mentioned. Luke Gazdick will be on today from 3 until 6. We got GCLD's Oiler Street pregame show. Tom Gazzola, Zach to come, Matt Casson. We'll get you set for Oilers and Kings. I'd like to thank our 2 guests for today. We had Shane Ryan from GolfDigest.com as well as Tim Hauraney, F1 Analyst. Zach, excellent work on the other side of the camera. Gager, it's great having you back
Great to be
in
with
the
you, buddy.
office. On behalf of Gager, I am Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in to EST Afternoons here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports Talk. As I said, up next, it will be the Reed Wilkin Show with Jay Milne. Don't go anywhere.